channel. Today we're in for Love Goals Season 1, Episode 8, review and recap. If you hear any noise in the background, that's my beautiful baby girl. She's going to be my director today, you can say. Thank you. All in the kitchen and they're making like these soul rolls, which are like egg rolls with soul food in them. And we have something like that down here called Chinaman. I don't really care for the fusion. I don't like it, but a lot of people do. My boyfriend really loves it. So does my daughter. Anyway, Coolio and Mimi are trying to teach the other girls out there, Teresa and Cindy, how to make them. And Coolio is like talking over Mimi, like making it seem like Mimi doesn't know what the hell she's doing, and Mimi gets frustrated. And Coolio and Mimi, they get into it because she feels like he doesn't listen to her, but she has to always listen to him, or it's like a huge argument. And like he treats her like a child, and Coolio makes a joke saying he treats her like his bitch, and that really upset her. He didn't say bitch, he like, treat you like my B, haha, I'm just joking. So of course that upset her. As we know from last week, she feels like you don't respect me. You don't even respect the whole process. You're taking it as a joke. Like, she just wants to be heard, and she feels like the littlest problem turns into something big because it's these little everyday things that we don't even talk about. Like, it's little everyday things that tick her off, but they don't talk about the real issue, which is he doesn't listen to her. So we have Yeshiva Davis, who is a marriage and family therapist, come in with Spirit, and they're going to be doing expressive therapy. So during the expressive therapy, everybody is, swinging and hitting, just items that have no purpose any longer to anyone. And it's to get them to let out their anger and let go of the memories. Each memory that they have every time they swing will be left there once it's over. So Teresa goes first, and she feels like, well, first, this is something that she's never done, and she wants people to speak up and overcome. And that's something that she didn't do. So she hits it. She says it's for the old men that prey on women and little girls, little kids, and she hits another one saying should have told him not to touch me, and then telling the men when she gets home to get out. Dwayne was very happy that nothing was had his name in it directly. Brian was letting go of not seeing his father and the issues that he has with that. Finn basically said F her old group mates. Dwayne was like for all the kids that didn't have parents, all the kids who didn't have a Christmas because their parents was on crack. Althea says all of the manipulation, and she doesn't express that it's about Benzino when she's hitting them, but when her confessional, she says that it's about Benzino. Coolio then does the US prison system, and it goes back to the fact that his son was there and it brought him to a dark place, the LAPD. Q says the comedy clubs that haven't booked him, and 30 years of spent working with those other girls who did her wrong. So Sunday does the babysitter who abused her. She kind of broke down and didn't really want to do it anymore. She really broke down. It was very sad to watch. And she wanted the memory to feel the pain that she had felt. She's broken. So she just wanted to hit everything, make everything. She wanted the memories and the pain to feel everything that she felt. Benzino chooses to express his frustration, and it's more so about the people, the people in the house, his housemates, as opposed to any traumas. He's like people who run their mouth but hasn't accomplished what he has, or disloyal people who give no credit. And apparently that one was towards Althea. And then Mimi being ghosted, and I think she said my nigga, and I'm like, oh, really now? I'm pretty sure that's what she said. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Let me know. Entertaining other females and always doubting her love for him. So Coolio thought that they were past all of this. They didn't expected her to be mad at him, but didn't expect everything to be about him. So she felt like it was freeing, but it was also very sad at the same time. Coolio was hurt by it and says he hasn't been around long enough to cause that much anger. And Spirit was telling him that she's hurting because of what I think Spirit or she said it, one of them, she's hurting because of what he continues to do, not that her initial hurt is because of him. It's like you're adding to her hurt. And he's not doing, she said that he hasn't done too much, because he asked, has he done too much? And she says, you haven't done too much, but you haven't done enough to fix it. And I can definitely understand that. When a woman says, okay, I'm over it, where they take you back, men kind of feel like, okay, that's enough. You forgave me, so now you have to get over it. And it's not that easy. You have to work and prove and make me feel better as a woman, as opposed to just, all right, well, you took me back, so it is what it is. And Spirit also tells him to stop joking and acting like it's non-existent. He acts like the issues are non-existent because he jokes about it. He makes a joke of it. He belittles her feelings by joking about it, as opposed to acknowledging it and trying to do something about it. It's selfish in a way, because he doesn't want to be hurt so bad that he minimizes her pain, because it hurts him that he hurts her. So Benzino was speaking on his anger with the housemates as opposed to actual past trauma. And Spirit brings in Steven, who is there to help him with his anger. She says that Benzino is easily triggered. He definitely is, and I also think that Benzino is choosing not to really participate. I don't think he wants to face his past traumas, so he's not, and he's using any excuse that he can. And right now, I'm gonna ride that housemates train all the way until the end of this whole situation, the end of the therapy. And I think it's messed up for him, it's messed up for the co-parenting relationship that him and Althea can have, and it's messed up for his son, because some of his past traumas is definitely, it's a cycle. It's going to continue with his son, unless of course his son breaks it or Althea is able to help that. But if Benzino can't even acknowledge it for himself, he's just a selfish individual, in my opinion, and I feel like he needs to work on that. Being so selfish in the sense that it's not just about you. If you didn't have a child, fine, whatever. If you wasn't in a relationship, you wasn't working on co-parenting, fine, whatever. But you are. And more importantly than the co-parenting, you have this child that you don't want to have these same issues, because you don't know how to express your love. He's sensitive as hell. So sensitive. I'm sensitive as hell, and I have to work on myself and my daughter. I can't have a sensitive as hell child. I know how hurt the smallest things can get me. I don't want my child to go through that. I recognize that. I have to make that change, and I'm working on it. And he needs to do the same, and it doesn't seem like that's what he wants to do. He'd rather avoid his issues, and that to me it's annoying. And it's annoying that I have to watch it and you're on the show, and I think maybe somebody else could have been in this situation, because I feel like Althea is the same way. Althea was talking about her issues with Benzino, but is yet to acknowledge, even when Spirit had told her, like, these men were taking advantage of you, you don't even want to acknowledge that. And as a woman, as a grown woman, you don't have a daughter, but if you did, you wouldn't want that happening to her. And that's not even something that you have to have a child to realize. That's just when you become an adult. I know when I was at middle school and stuff like that, it was guys 25 years old trying to talk to me. Let me tell you, I look like a jit now. I definitely look like a jit then. I was skinny. I had like a little shape, but in middle school, I didn't have no shape. I looked like a 12-year-old boy, and I was just a 12-year-old girl. I had no boobs, no butt. I wore clothes that were too big for me because I was so skinny. I felt some type of way about it. So there's no reason that a 25-year-old man should be talking to this 12-year-old girl. Should be talking to this 12-year-old girl. And it was cool back then. Oh, I'm 12 years old and this 25-year-old want to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. But now as an adult, I realize that that's not the case. That's disgusting. No, and I can recognize that. And she needs to be able to recognize that too. So Benzino tells Steven that he has a lot of stress from the house, and if he can get through this, he can get through anything out there. And it's like, boy, are you serious? These people were giving constructive criticism. Whether they did it in the right way or the way that triggered you as least as possible is irrelevant. It's people out in the real world that don't give a fuck, that ain't finna give you no constructive criticism, finna call you out on your bullshit and not give a fuck why you that way. These people understand for what you have given, why you're that way, and they were trying to help you. So that to me is like, whatever. Okay, believe it if you want to. So Stephen tells him that he needs to do is disconnect people's word from his heart. Don't take their words so seriously. Disconnect it. Don't let it have that power over you. So he says people see him in one way and not for who he truly is, and says that he may have something to do with that. Not you may, you definitely do. You don't show the person that you are until people come at you for who you show. Now you upset. Now this is not the only me, this is not only me. But that's all that we see. That's all that we know. So in my opinion and everybody else's opinion, this is you. And it is your fault. Take accountability, acknowledge it, so that you can work on it and be better. But it doesn't seem like he actually wants to be better. It just doesn't. So then Sunday and her mom, they bring Sunday's mom, and Spirit speaks with Sunday's mom and lets her know that Sunday has come definitely a long way. And her mom says that as a child, a young child, that Sunday was very studious, very compassionate and driven. And as a teenager is when she was rebellious. So she felt like as she got older, she was holding something back that impacted her, that Sunday was holding something back that definitely impacted her. She said that she was definitely devastated when she found out what happened to Sunday, of course, I think as any mother would be. And when she found out, she understood the self-destructive behavior that Sunday was having. So Sunday talks about how she was confused on if she was 6 years old, if it was 6 to 11, like the age in that time. So I can definitely understand that for myself, being that I have been through some things that I can't tell you if I was 5 or 6 or if I was 7 or 8. And for the most part, either way, it doesn't matter. But in my head, it kind of feels like the older I go, it's like, oh my God, I should have knew better. I should have said something. And the time Sunday was 14, her mother realized something has changed. And she got upset, would get upset when Sunday would ask, like, how didn't you know? Like, why didn't you know? You're a mother, you should have known, type of situation. And she says that she knew something was up, something was wrong, obviously, but she didn't know exactly what it was. So she did take her to a therapist to talk about it, but Sunday more than likely wasn't ready to deal with it, didn't know how to, especially if I feel like my mom knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, how could you not know? But Sunday feels like you have all these degrees, you know, you're very knowledgeable, have a lot of accolades and stuff like that, and you didn't know, like, how is that even possible? So when Spirit says that child sexual abuse is in its own category, unless you're an expert in that category, for the most part, it's going to be very, very hard to tell. You don't know. And in truth, Sunday's mom did the best that she could, in the sense that I recognized something was wrong, so I led my daughter to water. Now, did she drink? No, not necessarily, but she just wasn't ready to drink. And it's hard. It's so hard. I feel for her so much. And I feel for her mom because, you know, your daughter, in a sense, really was upset with you, really had a dislike for you, or whatever the case may be, because you didn't know, but how could you have known? And I'm sure her mom lives with guilt of, like, maybe I should have known because of this, or if I could go back. And it's like, you can't change the past, you know what I'm saying? And their relationship is strong though, it's really nice, so I'm happy about that, because it's just so sad. And she said that, Sunday said that she felt like she was a horrible kid, a horrible person, because she did things on purpose to deliberately hurt her mom so that she could feel the pain that she felt. And Spirit lets her know that she wasn't a horrible person, she was a wounded person. And hurt people, but the fact that she's moved past it, she's apologized, she's remorseful for it, is all that matters at this point, because you can't change the past. So Sunday's mom and Breon kind of have a talk, and they officially meet. And it's not overstepping any boundaries at this point, so that was nice. So then Spirit and Coolio talk, and Coolio brings in food, and he says that he likes making food and likes making other people happy. I'm kind of like breaking this down because at this point Soraya was bothering me, and we were singing songs, and I couldn't really focus, but I wanted to get this video out because my week is going to be packed, and I kind of want to get some other videos on the roster as well, and actually put my all into it and do it, especially since we're home right now. Excuse me. So he says that Mimi is very upset with him. Here is the analogy, because he used to be a firefighter, of how to save somebody when they're drowning, and it's to throw them something so that you don't drown yourself. So she used that as to say with Mimi's anger, don't throw yourself into the anger, help her, you know what I mean? So he feels like Mimi wants to change who he is. He wants her to be, she wants him to be a 9-to-5 guy, come home at 6, cook, eat, have sex, and do it all again tomorrow, off on the weekends. And that's not the type of person that he wants to be. He says that he doesn't understand why she's angry, and Spirit says, but I understand why she's angry. You should definitely, understand why she's angry. And he says that he's not that guy, and they probably aren't going to work, but he doesn't want to tell her because it will hurt her, and he doesn't want to see her hurt, of course. And he says he's not trying to sabotage the relationship, he just knows, because he was like, he hears what she talks about, and Spirit says to him that he is telling Spirit is that I know her better than she knows herself. I know what she's gonna say before she says it. I know what she's thinking, and that's how I know that this relationship is not gonna work, because she wants me to be this 9-to-5 guy, and that's not who I am, period, and I'm not changing. And Spirit's like, that's the issue. You don't know her better than she knows herself. Listen to her, speak to her, hear what she's saying so that you will know the issue and that you can work on it. But if you don't, then we're never gonna get across in this anal relationship. It's definitely not gonna work. And that is how he's sabotaging, and he doesn't see that that's how he's sabotaging the relationship. He feels that the relationship may be broken and unfixable, and I think Spirit asked if he tried to fix it or something like that, or he doesn't know what to do to fix it, and Spirit says that you told me that you haven't changed, you're not going to change. There's no cooler that I can be. I am Coolio. So Spirit asks that he kind of takes away this legacy, this ego, this persona, this Coolio, and just gets down how he can show up for Mimi to not lose the relationship that he wants. Then we have Breon speaking with Dwayne, and he talks about wanting to make the relationship official with Sunday, and then Teresa comes and they all have the conversation together, and he says, Sunday definitely completes him. He loves her. He wants to take that next step with her. They never had an understanding before, so he wants to make it very clear. He says that he has had his fun, a lot of fun. It was fun, and that he's done with it now. He's ready to settle down, like he said before. He is scared that she will say no. And I thought, when he was talking about making it official, I thought he was going to cut off all the other girls, make it known we together as in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend. But he's talking about proposing. Now, for me, being that y'all was in this open relationship, or not necessarily a relationship, just a friends with benefits or a buddy, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it, to me, it doesn't make sense to jump straight to marriage. It seems foolish in my opinion. Let's see how she acts. Okay. Let's see how, close it. Let's see how she acts now that we're in a relationship, we're exclusive, only us, we're committed. How is she going to act? How is her trust going to be since the relationship that you guys were? I think jumping into an engagement or marriage, whatever the case may be, I think you can take your time. You can figure out what you want to do. All right, we good, we cool. We're working on each other. Then maybe 6 months, a year down the road, whatever the case may be, however you feel comfortable. I just don't think that a marriage right now is the best idea. It just kind of seems silly in my opinion. But I mean, if they're happy and they really work out, they probably is gonna propose to her. Maybe at the end of this, maybe it's something that we're gonna see. Again, I'm not on social media, so I don't even know if they're still together, or if they are married, or engaged, or whatever the case may be. Thank you. So my daughter brought me this. This is her telling me she is ready for me to finish. So thank you guys so much for coming back to my video. Please check out any other videos on my channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It will be in the description box as well as somewhere on the bottom, ashley.kavita. Please share with anybody who watches reviews and recaps. I will be posting more as time goes on, I promise. Just trying to get like a handle on my time. But thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.